Hello, everybody.
All right, Miss Lyons, you able to hear me?
Yes.
These are citations. They were issued on May 3rd of this year on 142nd Avenue there in Door Township. You have two citations. One is a violation of seatbelt law. The other one is for an expired plate more than 30 days. On these citations, you need to do one of two things. First is you could admit responsibility to the citation, or two, admit responsibility, but you'd like to provide some sort of explanation as to how or why this happened. Or three, you wish to contest the tickets. In other words, fight the tickets at what we call informal hearing. What were you looking to do?
Probably the latter.
All right, so the latter would be on expired plates, that your plate was not expired.
No, my plate was expired and I had a ticket already issued that was less than 30 days old. And I've made 3 separate attempts to go to Secretary of State that had walk-in appointments and they wouldn't take me. The plate has since been corrected. I explained this to the officer as he pulled me over in my driveway with my
then,
vehicle.
ma'am, we'll have a hearing. That's fine. Let's go ahead and raise our right hands. Swear or affirm any testimony you give here today would be the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth.
I do.
Yes.
Ms. Lyons, it makes a lot more sense for me to start with the officer. He has the burden to establish to me why he was issuing citations. And then after that, you'll have an opportunity to either ask questions or testify on your own behalf, all right?
Okay.
And with that, Deputy, you want to pick up the narrative somewhere where it makes sense, explain the issuing of these citations.
Yep, on 5/3/2024, approximately 13:35 hours, I was working a traffic grant and I was sitting at 142nd Avenue near 18th Street in Door. I observed Miss Lyons' vehicle to travel eastbound on 142nd Avenue. I observed that Jody did not have her seatbelt on. By the time I could catch up to her and maneuver through the construction, there's multiple cones on 142nd Avenue, so obviously there's some traffic going on, but by the time I could catch up to her, she had pulled into her driveway. I made contact with the driver. Obviously, I see her in the courtroom today as Jody Lyons. I advised her. I asked her if she knew why I pulled her over. She stated that it was probably for her tabs. She then explained to me that she had a ticket about 2.5 weeks ago for the license plate tabs. I advised her. I did notice that when I did pull her over, but the main reason I pulled her over was for her not wearing her seatbelt. She said, "Oh, sorry." After running her plates and everything, they came back expired on 3/24/2020. She did explain to me that her husband should have taken care of this and should have paid for it, and they should be up to date. I advised her even if they paid for them online and she did not have them on her vehicle, they would still be up to date in my system. But I checked the lien and it came back still expired in 2020. And then she advised that she would take care of it at the end of the day, business day, after I got done with her. So I wrote her for a seatbelt violation and for her expired plate since it was expired in 2020.
And I just want to be clear, because I see the expiration date here, because it's birthday, 3/24, but of the year 2020, not 23 or 24 or anything.
Correct.
All right. And Ms. Lyons, what is it you'd like to tell me?
First of all, the expired plate ticket, I already had a ticket for, and it was not even 30 days old. And I had been currently trying to proactively correct that, which it has now been corrected.
And ma'am, what you're explaining may be some sort of defense if we were talking about anything other than a plate that's been expired for 4 years now.
It is still
You could get a ticket
defense.
for this every day that you drive the car.
But
You
yes,
can't drive your car without tax,
except there's
right?
a double jeopardy thing. How many times can you issue somebody a ticket? The ticket I got was
Every
not
time
even
you
30
drive the
days
car,
old.
you could get this ticket, ma'am.
Okay.
Every time.
As far as the seatbelt goes, I am 5'1", and my seatbelt, the shoulder strap because my car is a 2003 Chevy Trailblazer, cuts across my neck. I wear it behind me. And that officer that pulled me over in my parking lot, in my driveway, saw me take that off. I went to get out of my car, did not even know he was there.
Okay, ma'am,
Saw the
I'm gonna
light,
stop you there
shut my
just
door.
because anything that you're saying after what you already said is really sort of not relevant anymore. To
Okay.
have your seatbelt count as on, you have to be wearing it the way the manufacturer intended. Plenty of
Unless
people
I get
do what you're saying.
decapitated in an accident,
Ma'am.
officer.
Ma'am, listen to
Unless
me.
I get
Plenty of
decapitated.
people do that, and every time it counts as you not wearing a seatbelt. You have to wear
But
it
my
the right
seatbelt
way,
was
or it
on.
doesn't count.
And I was
No, it
in my
wasn't, ma'am.
driveway.
Doesn't matter, ma'am, because you were on the street before you pulled in your driveway. That's where he observed the
And I was
violation.
on the street with the belt part of my seatbelt buckled and the strap, shoulder strap
And ma'am,
behind
I
me.
want to be super clear with you so you understand that. That doesn't count as your seatbelt being on.
So if my seatbelt's on and I get an offender bender and I get decapitated, that's acceptable to you.
Ma'am, that's farcical. Farcical argument. This isn't even close. You are clearly responsible
I'm just
on
gonna
both
pay
of these
the ticket,
citations as
And
written.
I'm gonna
Ma'am?
contact Channel 13 News on your side because this is bullshit. So I'll just pay the
Okay.
fine. Have a nice day.
Well, I can tell you your rights on appeal if you'd like to hear them.
No, oh, sure. Yep, I'm appealing all of this because this is crap.
All right. So if you disagree with what happened here today, you must do two things. First is you must ask for that appeal to formal hearing in front of the district court judges with the prosecutor's office. You must do that within 7 days. Your window of opportunity to protest further closes after 1 week. Secondly, you must come in and ask for that formally in person because you would need to post a cash bond in the same amount as the fines on any ticket that you wish to appeal. Do you understand your rights on appeal?
Yep, I sure do. I'll be in tomorrow morning.
All right. Ms. Lopez, you want to take yourself off mute so I'd be able to hear your responses? Little microphone slash to it. There you go.
Can you
This
hear
is
me?
a citation. Yes, I can. This is a citation that was issued on August 29th of this year on 128th there in Heath Township. This was a speeding citation on an actual, looks like 69 and a 55. However, Ms. Lopez, you were not written for that speed. You were only written for a 1 to 5 over, but you're here on this 1 to 5 over speeding ticket to do one of three things. First is you could admit responsibility to the citation, or two, admit responsibility, but you'd like to provide some sort of explanation as to how or why this happened, or three, you wish to contest this citation. In other words, fight the ticket at what we call informal hearing. What is it you were looking to do?
Potentially the second option that you had mentioned.
All right, and what is it you'd like to tell me?
This day in particular had been a very stressful day for me and my fiance and my nephew, who was also in the car at the time of this event. There's just been a lot of stuff outside of home going on, and I was pretty distracted at the moment. I do not believe that I was going the detected speed of 69 miles per hour on this specific road. I do believe that this speed was probably 60, 62 miles per hour. I do not feel that the severity of my crime was necessary for the officer to then break several laws to give me this ticket. Your officer had to come to a complete stop in the middle of the road, make an illegal U-turn, back up in the middle of the road, and then speed to come and issue me this ticket. And then now I therefore have to pay this ticket and have points on my license, which is just adding more to this insanely crazy couple of months that I've had in my life. And I do not believe that this is what the punishment should be for me, honestly.
Okay. Well, the punishment is statutory, ma'am. So the fines and costs are by statute. Those don't really go up or down at the discretion of the judge. And the points do not come from the court. I have no control over your points. That's between you and the Secretary of State. All right. The only punishment the court has is that fines and costs. So the only thing you would have to do as far as court is concerned after this hearing is make arrangements to pay that $100 fines and costs. Points you have to take up between you and the Secretary of State. Does that make
So
sense?
does it automatically give you a point when you get a ticket?
Yes, but the Secretary of State does that, not the court and not the officer. But I have no control over what they do.
So like when you like get your name like ran, like for example, like when the officer got behind me and ran my plates, like doesn't that automatically happen though? Like when you get issued a ticket and when like you can look it up on the computer, seeing it there, like when you pull somebody over, correct?
I don't know what you're talking about, man, but you would not get points until you get a conviction on a civil infraction. Not when they're pulling you over.
Oh, I thought like you, as soon as you get pulled over and get issued a ticket, that automatically gets added to your license.
No, ma'am. Once you get the conviction for the citation.
Oh, okay.
All right. But we're all set for what we need to do here today. You just need to make arrangements to pay that fines and costs to the court when we're done.
Okay. So that means I'm accepting the guilt. There's no further.
Yes, ma'am. You chose to admit responsibility with explanation. Even by your own admission, I have to decide whether you're going 56, 57, 58, 59, or 60 miles an hour. By your own admission, you're going at least that fast, right?
I mean, to be fair, I did not look at the detected speed at the time of it. If we could issue, like if we were able to issue that radar, and for sure, I feel like that would be more fair because it's just
Well-
basically word against my memory from 2 months ago.
Well, yes, ma'am. So your testimony is you don't know how fast you're going. And if I took testimony from the deputy, in other words, if we actually had a contested hearing, he would have to testify, but he very well could testify you're going 69 and a 55, which is a lot worse ticket. He used his discretion on the side of the road to give you the wimpiest speeding ticket he could give you.
Right.
But if you wish to have hearing, we can have a hearing. But that's not what you said. What you said is you wanted to admit responsibility and provide explanation.
Right.
And then as part of your explanation, you admitted to speeding at least as fast as your ticket. So I'm not sure what else I would do during a hearing other than find you responsible.
Okay.
But I want to make sure you understand what's happening, all right?
I do understand.
All right. And we're all set for what we need to do here today. I'm going to go ahead and release you.
Okay.
Thank you guys so much. Be safe, be well, sleep sweet, and much love.